Warning! We are about to spoil the 1957 movie Throne of Blood. If you haven't seen the movie and plan on watching it, then click away now. Or if you've already seen it, or you just don't care, then please stick around.
Alright, boys, Mr. Mifune's on up there. Just shoot arrows around him. Should be safe. Well, this movie goes on the headshot list. Bit dark, but hey, it's on there.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cinema Roulette. We are back this time for the fourth Kurosawa movie on the wheel.
Which means we're done. Because all directors only got 4. Right, Cameron? Right, Cameron? Right,
Just like cut off and have like a boop.
Strangle noises. Anyway.
Anything you want to say before we announce the title of the movie?
No, let's just go into. I have no banter here.
Throne of Blood.
Look, we just reenacted a scene because we went quiet for like 10 minutes.
Listen to that silence. Like wandering through the forests, being kept there by an evil spirit. Clever tie-in noises.
I don't know how to segue off that.
Anyway, Throne of Blood. Do you want to just go right into the synopsis then and then do thoughts afterwards? Because I don't think it'll take super long, yeah?
Well, I mean, I could just say the opening of the movie. It spoils the end.
Yeah, it does, but we should probably go a little more in depth than that.
But I don't have anyone's name.
You know what? That's fine. I mean...
Oh, do I... Yeah, you guys could follow along, right?
Yeah, I would say, so just for an example as to how ridiculous some of these names are, main character is supposed to be named Wajizu Takitoki. His friend is supposed to be Washizu Asaji, and that's who played Lady Macbeth, and Takashi Shimura is Odakura Noriyasu. So that just goes on like that. Except when you get to the other players, which are just titled as First General, Wajizu's Workmen, Senior Lady in Waiting, and so on and so forth.
And before you yell at us for being rude, I am the one summarizing, and I can hardly remember people's names when it's American. So you give it a long Japanese name, I am not going to fucking remember it, no matter how many times you say it.
Yep.
I'm sorry, my memory is bad. Leave me alone.
It's all good. No, your memory's fine.
Actually, it's not.
You're fine. Anyway.
ADHD's a bitch.
Aw.
So we open on a desolate field because everyone is going to die and everything burns down. I'm not spoiling the ending. This is, again, the narration. Yeah. It's like, there was a great warrior here and everyone got fucked.
I'm very tempted to ask you to insert the clip. And then everybody died. The end.
Everyone died. The end.
Fine, I'll put it in. A SpongeBob clip is always allowed. Yeah. And value select is also always allowed. Just I will say I'm not going to put it in, then put it in anyway.
Thank you, Max. You're amazing.
Oh, Max is so good. Go watch value select.
Yes.
After this. Yeah.
We'd appreciate it if you stick around. You know, give us some views. I'd appreciate it.
I mean, technically, the system we use counts a view even if someone watches for only a minute. So that number went up and I got free serotonin. So everyone wins.
It's a win-win situation, unlike the characters in this movie.
Yeah, this is just a lose-lose. Actually, people could have won, but everyone got all antsy.
It's because of fatalism and pride.
And gatekeep gaslight girl boss, but we'll get to that.
We will get to gatekeep gaslight girl boss.
I'm not gonna call her that. It's funny though.
Gatekeep gaslight girl boss.
Okay. Anyway, So we're in a part of Japan. I know. Surprise. Guess what? It's the samurai era. Another surprise.
Wow, a samurai film made by Kurosawa? What a surprise.
We're up in this big fort, and the main king is like, shit, people are rebelling, and the rebels are doing pretty good. Until they're not. It's like, oh, hey, we pushed them back. And then we pushed them back more. They're back in the North Castle. They lost. We win.
Yeah. It's actually kind of a clever way to show a battle going on without having to actually show the battle, as they keep showing the messengers who keep coming in and giving reports on what's going on.
And then there's two of the leader's men lost in a forest. Because they're supposed to... I forget what they're doing specifically. I think they were going to scout out the North Castle.
Yes.
Because the enemy has been backed into a corner there.
Mm-hmm.
And the king is like, just fucking kill them, because they wanted to surrender, but no, we're not letting them surrender. However, the two men are lost in the forest because of evil spirits. Luckily, we find the evil spirit. Would it be a shame if someone else wanted to spoil the rest of the movie? So the evil spirit spoils the rest of the movie.
He's like, so you guys are going to do this, and you're going to do this. How's that sound?
So you're going to rule the North Castle, you're going to rule Fort 1, you're going to take over the place, you're going to be really mad about it, but probably die, and your son is going to take over the North Castle. Well, no, take over the entire kingdom.
Great.
Cool, I guess. And it turns out the first part is right. Our main character man takes over the North Castle, and his buddy goes and takes over the main defense Fort 1. Because they did such a darn good job. And after... I don't think it ever gives a specific amount of time that passes.
I don't think it does either. So it's just supposed to be like short.
Okay, what's the main actor's name? So I can at least say that.
Toshiro Mifune.
Mifune is the main character. He's leading North Castle, and he's there with his wife, and his wife is like, you know, they're all gonna betray you. Your buddy's gonna fucking rat you out, and the king's gonna be like, yo, that dude's a piece of shit. We should kill him. And he goes, they wouldn't do that. And immediately one of his men comes in and is like, yo, the king's coming.
I don't know why, but like when you started out impersonating the wife, it sounded like you were going for a Joker accent. You're like,
it kind of was, because she is just evil.
She is. You're going, like you're kind of going for like the Heath Ledger Joker.
Yes. And he gets a little tense because his wife just said all this. But then the king's like, hey, you're going to go on a fucking trip. Your buddy's going to watch the castle. It's going to be fine. And he's like, oh, that's awesome. Goes back to his wife. He's like, see, you're a stupid bitch. I got this. It's fine. I'm going to go do the thing. I'm going to come back and we'll all be good. And she's like, they're going to like stab you in the back. They're just gonna shoot you there. You already lost control of the castle. Only thing to do now is kill the king. Because that is obviously the next option.
Yeah, honestly, yes, that is the immediate next step, is kill the king.
He kind of he's like, no. And then she goes and poisons the guards so that, well, not poison, but knocks them out. And once that's done, he's just like, fuck. And then he goes and kills the king.
Yep.
So now he's king, and he blames one of the guards as a traitor, so that way no one suspects him. How does his friend die? I forget.
I forget too, actually.
I think he's about to rat it out because he knew the prophecy, and then just gets fucking shanked.
Yeah, something like that.
And then he's king. It goes pretty well. Well, okay. First off, he goes, after doing this, he goes to his wife and is like, okay, I'm not going to push this any further. I'm not going to try to fight fate. I'll let my best friend's son take over. I will step down in power when that happens, and it will be fine.
Yeah, he kind of dies off screen, remember, because he's supposed to go show up to the banquet and then doesn't, and they see his ghost.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Because one of his men kills him.
Yes.
Because he's an idiot. But his wife also says, like, we don't need his son. I have a baby.
Yes.
I don't know why this is the wife's voice, but it is now.
I kind of love it.
I have a baby on the way.
Yes.
It will be king.
You don't have to worry about that whole bloodline thing, you know.
So, fuck him. And he's still gonna try to go through this, but then, as we said, his friend gets murdered by one of his guards before coming to a banquet. This is bad.
Just a bit.
In somewhat of a drunken rage, and also still seeing the evil spirit pop up, now King gets mad, goes to the forest and sees the spirit, is like, okay, I want to be ruler. I want this to work out. And the spirit's like, it's okay, you'll never lose a battle. You would only lose if the forest moves closer to the castle.
Yep.
It's like, oh, fuck yeah, forest can't move. I'm awesome. And also, his best friend's son is planning a rebellion with other soldiers to come kill him. But he riles up his men. He's like, I have talked to a forest spirit. Forest spirit said, hey, shit ain't gonna happen because the forest has to come here. And guess what doesn't fucking move? That's right, trees.
Yep. I mean, that would be silly, right?
And then his wife loses the baby. That's a bad sign. And she kind of goes crazy with guilt over getting all these people killed and nothing to show for it, basically.
Yeah.
She's just stuck trying to wash blood off her hands, and there's no blood. There's not even water in the bucket. She wonders where she got this blood.
Yeah. Well, I know how I got this blood in my hand.
And then King still tries to be like, okay, we're good, we got this. But then the trees come in.
and all of his troops just panic.
All his troops go, well, we're gonna fucking lose, so... And then they shoot him with arrows.
Yep. I mean, I mean, they fuck him up.
Like, geez, a lot of arrows. Like, Punisher would even go, damn, that's a lot of arrows. Like, that's a bit overkill, guys. Come on.
Just a little bit.
And then he dies. Then the movie ends.
Yep. And that is Throne of Blood. Now,
He never even sits in a throne.
he never sits in a throne, and they never dropped the title, even though there was a perfect time to drop said title.
There was.
Because, like, Toshiro Mifune is talking to the forest spirit. He's like, haha. He's like, I will kill them all. He's like, oh, will you? You'll build your thing on top of all their bodies. And that was, like, the perfect opportunity to say, like, you will build your throne of blood or something. But no.
Or your throne will be...
So I say we get the positive out of the way first. So
Oh, okay, we'll just have negative for the
yeah,
last time.
I think cinematography, sound design, technical specs, all perfect.
Okay, there's one really fucking cool thing, and it's done right at the beginning. Because, as I said, it opens on a wasteland after everything's burnt down, and all that's left is the grave of our main character.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, it's showing fog over the wasteland, and the fog fades to reveal the big castle, like, as it reappears to tell the story.
It is ridiculously seamless, and for 1957, so impressive.
That was super cool.
Yeah, and there's just obviously the action scenes are well shot, and because this was after Seven Samurai, after he figured out to use like multiple cameras to capture the action, so that's fantastic. Sound design's really good. There's some brutal stuff in there. I still love the scene where he slits the one guy's throat, and you kind of see blood going on the floor, but you don't really. I guess he didn't want to get censored or something, but you do hear him like gurgling and like a splat as he hits the floor. It's pretty fucking brutal.
I'm actually surprised. I said this before we started the episode, but I'm surprised Kurosawa didn't ever direct theater.
Yeah.
Because a lot of his camera work, even from the other movies we watched of his, feels very feels like a theater. It's always very far back, so you see all the characters and the setting.
Yes. But this one especially, you could kind of feel the more theater thing. And we got that a little bit with the first half of High and Low. That I could definitely see that being adapted as a play.
Yeah.
But yeah, this too.
And this one is technically a play.
Yeah, and I think that was his intent with this one specifically, was that, you know, it was based off of Shakespeare, so he wanted to give like a little play thing to it. And I do love like the scenes between him and when the lady is like tempting him and telling him to do all these horrible things. Like you just get like kind of the good 2 shots and like close-ups of like their faces and how they react and stuff. I just think it's really well done. I also really love the costume design in this, because Toshiro Mifune switches outfits numerous times throughout the movie, and it all looks like, of the period, obviously, but like it looks like something out of like a Japanese painting or something.
Yeah, it doesn't... It's this weird balance of being unrealistically flashy, but still grounded enough to seem like an outfit someone would wear.
Yes. So that was really well done. I just really liked that. And obviously set design was really clever. There was one really cool moment, like when the spirit initially disappears, because he makes him float on a wire or whatever, and he goes up and then like flash and he's gone. And then it's a shot behind them and they go into the house to check out, see where it is, and it goes outside like through the back. And then when the camera comes back and they walk forward, the house is just gone.
Yeah, that was a cool moment too.
Just some of the seamless transitions are really cool in this. And
I wonder if you could get away with something like that on a stage play.
There'd probably be a way to do it.
You'd need like some bit of magician work,
Yeah, definitely. I'd agree. Yeah, so that's good. And honestly, as an adaptation of Macbeth, it is really solid because it's not like a direct retelling of it. He varies stuff enough, obviously changes the whole setting and everything, but he changes a couple things as well and combines some characters like the witch or whatever, the evil spirit. In the original play, that was 3 witches. And he kind of combined those and like streamlined a couple of them, but everyone in it has a parallel, obviously. Toshiro Mifune and whoever plays his wife, I feel bad I can't remember her name. But they're supposed to be Macbeth and Lady Macbeth and all that, and it's true to the play in that the lady like kind of like twists Macbeth around and gets him to commit murder so they can
gaslight.
Gaslight. That's it. That's the word. Gaslighting him. So that is her entire character basically summed up. Gaslighting.
Yeah, just any scene she's in, it's like, oh, you're happy? Well, you shouldn't be.
Yeah. And here's why. And then he gets sad. Why are you so sad?
Just murder. Just easy.
Yeah. So I feel like it's loose enough to just be its own thing, and just honestly it could introduce some people to it. Now, I'm not a huge Shakespeare fan either. I find a lot of it pretentious, and I just think it hasn't translated well to modern day, but there is things to be appreciated about it, obviously, and I think he did really well in adapting that. So
wait, are you telling me you don't think Romeo plus Juliet works as a film?
Fuck me. Whoa. We're not going to do any Baz Luhrmann on this show. Sorry, guys.
Okay, I'll be fair. I'd be totally open for Romeo plus Juliet. That movie is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we'd be down for that. And if when we do eventually get around to it, I'd say we'll talk about Baz Luhrmann more then.
If you pay me $2,000, we'll do an episode of his Great Gatsby.
2,000's your minimum, huh?
Minimum, yeah. Okay.
I get 1,000 of it though because I won't have to sit through that fucking thing again.
Okay, $3,000.
Bitch.
I want my 2,000 to sit through that movie.
All right. $3,000 it is. I can concur to that. I would say, give me 2,002 then, make it 4,000, but I'm not gonna make it too unreasonable. I'll settle for
too unreasonable to donate 2 people $3,000.
Yeah, I will. I'll settle for 1,000 and I'll settle for what would that percentage be? Like you get 2/3, I get 1/3. I don't know the percentage, but hey, that's math. Not my forte.
33.33333.
There you go. That's it.
333333333.
I will settle for 33.3 with the little squiggly above it.
Or just a line. It doesn't have to be squiggly.
Well, line. Yeah, you're right, but. Hey. So yeah, there are things about this movie that are really good and that I really enjoy. Anything else that you can think of you enjoyed?
You've said his name fucking 3 times already, and I still can't.
Toshiro Mifune, yeah, his performance is fantastic.
Yeah, he does a great job with that. The wide range of emotions is very well done.
Yes. And he's like in the scenes where he needs to go like over the top and be like boisterous and like he does really well. Like he doesn't go like to the point of like ridiculously silly, but he's just he has this energy and just like he has such range as an actor, because in High and Low we saw him as more of a reserved, dad type, shoe salesman type person, and this he's just a samurai general who's full of himself.
Yeah, and the scene like where it's the dinner party and he keeps seeing the ghost, that's a lot of fun too. Yes. To see him freak out as everyone else is very confused.
Oh yeah, because no one else can see the ghost, we find out. So
which also a clever shot, because it pans away and then when it pans back you don't see the ghost because now you're from their perspective.
It's great. Yeah, the staging in this movie is fantastic. So but yeah, Toshiro Mifune gives an absolutely like just energetic and performance that's just so good to watch. So but yeah, so unfortunately there are a couple negatives that I noted upon this viewing. So we'll get into that now. I'll let you start out because I have been talking a lot this past section. So
okay, because we did mention before that the opening was a clever way to save money, where they don't show the balance, they just show the
scout or the messenger, the scout.
Yeah, the messengers coming in saying, "We took back Fort 2, we took back Fort 3." That was clever. It'd be really nice if through the rest of the movie they didn't keep doing stuff like that.
There are a lot of moments where like a character will go off to do something and it just kind of seems needless. Like for example, Toshiro Mifune goes off to murder the king, and we kind of just stick with the lady as all this is going on. It's like, would that have really been so hard to shoot?
And I would say like, oh well, maybe we get to see more of how she's really feeling about this, because she did just basically egg on her husband to murder.
Mm-hmm.
But her back is turned to the camera the entire time.
It's really weird, yeah.
She doesn't even really move. It's just like, you sit there for about 5 minutes, then he comes back with blood on his hands.
Yeah. And again, I get it's supposed to be like, oh, it's Shakespeare, so you kind of shot a couple scenes like a play, but it's like, some things that work in play might not work as well in a movie, so...
Or it drags the pace...
Yeah.
The pacing down. Speaking of fucking pacing issues,
there are several scenes in this movie I noted that could have just been edited down.
What, you're telling me the two horsemen running through the fog 16 times could have been cut down?
That was especially the one. I was like, they literally go like in and out and in and out and in and out of the fog so many fucking times. I was like, okay, we get it. You're still in the forest. Get the fuck on with it. The spirit's gone. You're coming out of the forest. Get on with it.
Get to the point. Come on, we can do this.
Yes. And there are just a couple times where the pacing does just kind of drag.
Especially in the middle of the movie, that just kind of comes to a very grinding halt.
It does. Like, when the stuff happens, it's really good and really interesting, but there are a couple moments where, like, things just kind of drag. And I know, like, some of them he was trying to trying to build atmosphere and stuff, but some of it just doesn't work, frankly.
And this is a weird thing. I kind of would have been... I wasn't super interested in the story, if I'm being honest.
That's fair.
Just it didn't grab me much. I think a interesting way to tell the story would have been from the wife's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
This lust for power and forcing her husband to go through with all this stuff. But also, as he seems to go insane because of the spirit, and we don't know if the spirit is real or not. We see him break down, and then she breaks down due to the losing the baby and things falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, actual segues are hard.
Yeah, actual segues are hard. So you were saying, sorry.
Yeah, I guess I've been feeling this with the other Kurosawa movies as well. Not so much Yojimbo. That one is fistful of dollars. It just works as a movie.
It does. It's really enjoyable.
And I know I'm even like the description picture for that episode, I made joke of fistful of dollars. I know Yojimbo came first before internet comments get pissy with me.
Just before all you pedantic fucks start saying, technically.
we covered it first, so I make jokes about it.
Yes.
But a lot of his movies, I don't know, well, the movies we've seen so far, it feels like the plot could have been more interesting, but instead we just kind of got what I'd expect from it.
Yeah. Like there were some things that like we thought were going to be like more clever than they actually were, but then ended up not being. Like, you know, obviously a whole stereotype of ghosts and like mystic figures in general is they will give you predictions, but you have to be really, really specific because they will be pedantic. And like he says, you will not lose or something. You will never lose any battles until the trees go. And Justin thought it was going to be like, oh, it's not going to be a battle technically. It will be a slaughter.
Yeah, like he was going to try to cheer on his men by saying, this won't be a battle, it will be a slaughter, and that's why he loses.
Yes, but no, it is literally the trees move.
No, they were I guess it is still a bit clever of the enemy knew they were outnumbered, so they wanted to use the trees as camouflage, which freaked everyone out.
Yep. Like kind of an unintentional psychological warfare. And fun fact, you know, when they were looking out of them at night, I was afraid that like I don't know if you picked up on this or not, but you couldn't. It was a long distance shot, and you could see them moving something long in the distance. They were moving the trees, and at night I noticed in the sound design you could hear the sound of like chopping wood when they were saying, "Oh, well, they're not making any fires."
Oh, I didn't catch that. That is clever.
Yeah, I noted some foreshadowing because I knew it was going to happen, and I was like, "Wait a minute! Oh God, is Justin going to figure this out?" That's a big spoiler.
It's okay; they already spoiled the ending.
Exactly. So, yeah, but it just like you said, it's just it's what you would expect it to be. Very solid film, but it doesn't really try to go beyond anything. Like there are some really good stuff in it, and I think it is still clever, but it's not like, you know, there's nothing that really elevates it above just it's a good movie.
I kind of okay. This is gonna be a comparison that will make you mad.
Okay.
But I don't mean it as harshly as it sounds.
Okay.
This kind of feels like Ocean's 12 to me.
Mm.
I mean that in this, not that the plot is anywhere as bad as fucking Ocean's 12 was.
Yeah, that plot was fucking horrible. But yeah, sorry. Continue.
But I feel like the camera work, the set design, everything that doesn't have to do with the story, fantastic. Looks great.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds great. It's just when I get to the main story and the pacing of it, I can't really enjoy it that much.
That's fair. Yeah, and obviously if you don't like a story in a film, you're not going to enjoy it. Like that's just how it is. Like that wouldn't make sense otherwise. If you can't get into the plot, you're not going to enjoy the movie.
Yeah, if you can't get into the plot and characters, well, that's kind of the main moving force of everything.
Yup. So yeah, and I get that. That's fair. I mean, the story could have definitely been done better, I will admit, or it just might not be your cup of tea. Who knows? So
yeah, I'm also not a big Shakespeare person.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. So obviously you wouldn't enjoy Shakespeare adaptations. So
except Romeo plus Juliet because it's perfect.
Because of how fucking stupid it is.
I love. Oh man, that movie. Sorry, anytime I think about that movie, because I had to watch it in high school.
It's been years since I've watched it too. I don't think I've watched it since like college. Fucking over 5 years ago.
I'm not saying like I don't understand why people enjoy the movie, or that there's nothing to merit here. Of course, there's, like I said, all the stuff that isn't to do with the story, fantastically done, especially for 57, right?
Yes. But yeah, and that's the thing. Like, and while I said the positives are still there, and it's a really good movie, it's just I felt that there were some problems that held it back, namely the pacing. There were some pacing issues, and there were moments of the film I think that could have been edited down or streamlined. They could have definitely gotten to the point faster. But if you're interested in this movie, I'd say still give it a watch. So
it's probably still on HBO Max.
Yeah. So if you're interested, check it out. We're not going to tell you don't watch this movie. So.
But you just technically did.
No, I said still watch it if you're interested.
Yeah, but you still did say the words, don't watch this movie.
Shut the fuck up. Don't watch this movie. Fuck. Anyway.
I am a spirit of the Force.
Yeah. So, but yeah, anything else you need to say on it, you think?
Not really.
All right. So, yeah, that's Throne of Blood. I will say this. Let me think here of how to word this. Before we spin the wheel, I will say this. If we land on Seven Samurai next time...
we're going on the series wheel next.
I know we are, but I'm saying, like, next time we land on Kurosawa, if we get to Seven Samurai, we'll watch that. And if you still aren't into Kurosawa, I am willing to take the remaining 3 off of the wheel.
I think that's fair.
Because, yeah, like, again, I still really enjoy these movies. They aren't as amazing as I remember them just because I've branched out. Because I think I first got into them, like, decades ago, like when I was in college. Like, my first year of college was when I really got into them. I was like, oh, this is good. But, you know, obviously with anything, tastes evolve and all that. And while I still really love them and I really have a soft spot for them, and I definitely rewatch a couple of them myself personally, I am kind of seeing a couple of issues here while they're still really good. And I will praise Kurosawa's technical prowess forever until the end of time. I will always just, you know, I will always jack off to that. But yeah, I will say this. If we get to that, don't like it, remaining 3 are off. Done.
That's fair.
So, yeah.
Actually, one more thing. I'm not sure. We'll see with Seven Samurai, I guess, but I'm going to say this without context, and I'll give it some, but I think I'm a pervert.
I mean, we're all technically perverts.
Now, the reason I'm saying this is David Fincher, when talking about how he uses a camera, he jokingly calls his audience a pervert, because one of his main style choices is the camera is always like this free-flowing object. That's why it's always on a dolly or on a tripod, so that way it looks smooth and just moves throughout the scene like it's not really there.
And that's how camera work should be. If an average moviegoer is watching a scene, you don't want to think of, oh, where the camera placement is. Obviously, we are going to know stuff like that just because that's our field. That's what we're in, and we appreciate film like that. We'll be like, oh, yeah, they got this angle by doing this and all that.
Well, more of the difference of shaky cam makes you feel like you're in the moment,
Yes.
but the floating around one makes you feel like you're observing.
Has almost more of like a voyeuristic effect at times.
Yeah, which is why he jokingly calls them
Yes.
perverts.
Yep.
Which I'm thinking I like that style more, and Kurosawa is very much, for at least the movies we've seen, is very far back to show the whole thing.
Yes.
That may also be a slight hindrance to me. I don't know.
And it's not to say he doesn't use close-ups. He uses them a lot, and when he does use them, they're very fluid, very like full of motion, all that. Like in Yojimbo, I thought was interesting. That was like cool because like a lot of the dialogue scenes, it was very close up, and it would like be very fluid as it like swayed and tracked the characters running around and going like this. Like the scene in here too, where they're running through the forest. It's shot very close up, and there's like as it like swings by, and there's trees and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does use a mix of the two, and in this one there are a lot more faraway shots because I think they were trying to emulate plays and all that. So
Yeah. That's just another little thought before we get to the wheel.
yes. So and a couple of interesting behind the scenes stuff. American military actually helped out a lot with this movie.
Really?
In Kurosawa's own words, I think this is from his like autobiography or something, it was a very hard film to make. We decided the main castle set had to be built on the slope of Mount Fuji, not because I wanted to show the mountain, but because it has precisely the stunted landscape that I wanted, and it's usually foggy. I decided that I wanted lots of fog for this film. Making the set was very difficult because we didn't have enough people and the location is so far from Tokyo. Fortunately, there was a US Marine Corps base nearby, and they helped a great deal. Also, a whole MP battalion helped us out. We all worked very hard indeed, clearing the ground, building the set. Our labor in this steep, fog-bound slope, I remember, absolutely exhausted us. We almost got sick.
Jeez.
And then, interesting thing, too, about the famous arrow scene, which, just to get into that a little bit, if it looks like it was dangerous, it's because it actually was. And Toshiro Mifune's like look of fear is probably because he was actually terrified for his life.
Yeah, they just shot actual arrows at him.
Wajisu's death scene, in which his own archers turn upon him and shoot him with arrows, was in fact performed with real arrows, shot by knowledgeable and skilled archers. During filming, Mifune waved his arms, which was how the actor indicated his intended bodily direction.
Huh.
So when he's like waving them out, like chopping the arrows up with his hand, like waving and all that, him like waving his arm down was signaling to the archers, I'm going to go over here, so don't fucking shoot me, basically.
There's some pretty close shots.
Oh yeah, like you see there are some close-up shots of his face where like arrows come in, and you just see like him look over and just be like, oh fuck.
Yeah. And you're telling me he got bad blood with Kurosawa later on? I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder if this was one of the things that made him do that.
They did make up Blair.
Yes.
But
which is nice, yeah. And if you guys don't know the background of that story, I know we're just randomly saying that. In the film, I think it was made in like 1960. It's called Redbeard, and in which Toshiro Mifune plays a doctor in feudal Japan. Like it's kind of more of a drama than anything. But after that film, he was no longer in any of Kurosawa's films because during the filming of that, they had like a serious fallout and never really talked to each other after that. But I forget whose funeral it was. It was either like a close friend or actor or someone they both knew, and they were both there, and they were getting kind of older at that point, and they kind of made up during the funeral. Like afterwards they kind of made up and be like, yo, I'm sorry and all that. So
wholesome moment.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's about it for the movie.
Do you wanna? Yeah, there we go.
I think we wanna. I wanna. I don't know if your computer does, but I do.
I needed to load a screen. Anyway.
Oh.
So, if you are new here, this is the long series wheel, or the sellout wheel. On this, we have 18 now movie series. Every time we land on it, we continue the series or start it, because there are still like half the list we haven't started yet.
It's a little ridiculous.
What ones haven't we started? Men in Black, Alien, Scream, Die Hard.
The only reason we got James Bond is because we forced it, because there's so many movies.
Yeah, we cheated that one, and Back to the Future.
Yes, and Back to the Future.
I still don't know how the Back to the Future episode's going to go. We're going to really see on that.
I know we'll probably have more say on 2 or 3, since it's like, especially 3 gets shit talked a lot. But the first one, we'll see how it goes, because that is kind of one of those movies we're a bit worried about, because it kind of has been talked to death.
Yeah. Worst comes to worst, we'll do what we're planning to do with Die Hard. When we do land on Die Hard, it may be right now. We don't know.
Yeah.
We'll probably cover the first and second movie in one episode, because everyone's talked about the first movie.
Yeah.
Everyone's seen the first movie at this point.
Yep.
We don't have to say too much.
We really don't. So we know that first film is going to be brief. So
Yeah. We'll basically add anything new that we saw in that viewing. Anyway, besides that, I think it is time to
spin it.
God fucking damn it.
What we get?
Well, I swore. What series do you think we land on?
Is it Lone Wolf and Cub?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're back with
We're back with The Adventures of Lone Wolf and His Cub, which we are desperately hoping go better than last time, because from here on out it is uncharted territory. We saw the first 2. We still really love the first 2. I still think they're great action movies. But the third one, there was a lot of very, 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 very uncomfortable content in it, and we're really hoping that does not translate to the rest of them, because there are 3 more movies we have to do in this series.
I could tell you go listen to the last time we covered it, but honestly, it's a fine episode we did. I just hate the movie that much that you don't have to watch that episode.
No. And it's just, the movie, without going into it, is vile. Very vile. And
it's vile, it's exploitative. I don't fucking like it.
Nope, neither did I. We were both just very uncomfortable and felt horrible talking about it. So, yep, we're really hoping that the rest of the series does not go this route.
But you won't get to see us cover this until December. we have one more movie. It's a Halloween special, and then we have movie month.
Yay! I'm so excited for that. So I'm adding. I was just gonna say I'm adding the first episode of that. We kind of split up to work, and movie month will have a video feed for all of the episodes.
Yeah, on the YouTube version, you will see our stupid fucking faces crammed in my brother's old bedroom.
Excuse me, we're beautiful, and you can shut the fuck up.
I mean, I like lying to myself too, but some lies even I can't believe.
Self-depreciating humor. Anyway.
What do you mean humor?